Good morning, and welcome to Get the Pen. Thank you for coming back. For those who are new, welcome, and I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you watching and taking time out of your life to join me and hear what I have to say. Get the pen. Now, one thing that I do want to do with this time is to give a shout out every week, every time. So last week it was Speakers Magazine, and this week I want to shout out, and I have to read it from my phone. Permission Today, Portia Lockett. Love this woman. And I want you to check out the website. She has an event coming up in July, Permission Today. Join us for this event of empowerment, self discovery on your grieving journey. She is a hospital chaplain, and that's how we met, doing grief support groups and having a discussion about how we can help individuals through their grieving process. And she has started the Azel Ben Lockett Foundation. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm going to give you the website so you can check it out and learn more about her organization. It's www.azalbennlockett foundation.org. So check that out. And if you're able, there's an event on Saturday, July 13th, 2024, and I will be there with books. I'll be there with most of my books, if not all of them. So come on out. It's at the Wayne County Community College Northwest Campus, and that's at 8200 Outer Drive, West Outer Drive in Detroit, Michigan. So check that out. She does this every year. It's an annual event. The Permission Today, giving yourself permission to grieve, permission to heal, permission to live and laugh, permission to love again, and permission to move forward, permission to celebrate. Sometimes when we're grieving, we don't allow ourselves to move on. Now, speaking of grief this week, I'm going to talk about grief. And my book pick of the week is The Grief Files. This is one of my more popular books. I get a lot of people who want this, and then once they get it, they'll order more so they can give them away. Pardon my nails this time. I'm just trying to give them a break, but I'm going to have to break down and go ahead and get them done again. But The Grief Files, and it's a Get the Pen book. So before I pick a page out of The Grief Files, I do want to touch a little bit on grief. I co-facilitate a grief support group along with a couple of my colleagues, including Portia Lockett and Sharon Edwards. And one thing I noticed about grief support groups, at least the ones that I have been involved in, people don't show up for them. You get a few who show up, and one thing I realize is that it takes a brave soul to walk out of their house to go to a grief support group in person. That takes a lot of courage. You really have to push yourself. So when people do show up, I commend them for showing up because I know it's not easy to come and be vulnerable with your pain and with your sadness in front of other people. It could be very uncomfortable. So I know it takes a lot to show up. And sometimes that's all we have to do is show up. Once we show up, everything else will just unfold or come naturally. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. I think the biggest effort is showing up, is getting up to make that move to go to show up. That's why I want to thank you for showing up here today, for being here, for going to YouTube and clicking on my channel. You showed up. So that is commendable. And I hope that your motivation to show up is met with something that you find helpful, beneficial, and edifying to your life. I don't know if you're grieving, but you know what? Grief affects everybody because nobody stays here forever, and we have all lost somebody in our lives by now. I would imagine we've lost someone along the way, and as we continue to live, we continue to lose more and more people. And as hard as that is, it's our reality, and we don't dwell on it, and sometimes we'll try to avoid thinking about it, and I get it because it can make you sad and it takes you away from being in the moment. And it is important to be in the moment, and I say while we're in the moment, let's cherish it, let's take it all in, let's enjoy it, savor it, cherish, celebrate, honor the moment with the people we love, because we don't know how long they're going to be here. So we want to make sure they know that they are honored and that they are loved, they are appreciated, that their life is important, that they are important, and that they have been a blessing to us. Let your people know. Let your people know that you love them while we can. And demonstrate that in your actions every day, through your words every day, even when you're hurt, even when you're sad, even when you're mad. Do your best to demonstrate your love, because we don't want any regrets. We don't get a do-over, so we want to try our best to do it right when we can. Now, of course, we're not perfect. What's done is done, and we have to keep going. But, we can reduce the amount of heartache we endure by making better choices, by treating each other better. So that's my word for today. So, I was talking about grief support groups, and I put a handout together for one of our sessions. So today I want to share a little bit of that with you before I pull a page from the grief files. And if you want to know more about the grief files and how to get it, you can always go to getthepen.net. Grief journey. This is a little handout I put together, and I'm just going to briefly go over it with you in these few minutes that we have. Grief journey is a healing journey. And the first thing we need to do is acknowledge our pain. Don't try to avoid sadness. It only prolongs the grieving process. So go ahead. I'm sad. This hurts. I'm sad. And it's okay to sit in it for a minute. We just don't get stuck in it, but we do have to acknowledge it and feel it. Unresolved grief can lead to complications like depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and other health problems. Give yourself time and space and permission to grieve. Express your feelings in a tangible way. Cry if you must. It's okay to cry. I did a presentation a few years ago called Don't Forbid My Tears. When we try to stop people from crying, or trying to stop ourselves from crying, like crying is bad, then we're really hindering our own healing, because grief is a cathartic, crying is a cathartic release, and it's just a release of pain rather than letting it fester on the inside, causing other problems. So we need to let that go. Now, you don't have to cry in front of everybody. You can go hide away. I've done that a lot of times. I go in the bathroom, let all that out, get some tissue, clean your face, and come back out and carry on with your day. Doesn't have to be a public to do. It doesn't have to be something that others need to witness, but this is for your own healing, and your healing is very personal, and it can be private if that's how you choose to handle it. Totally up to you. Do not compare your grief to that of others. Accept that grief can trigger other emotions. Grief is emotional and it's physical. We feel it in our bodies. Certain areas of our bodies tense up, like your neck, back. When they would say, oh, you're a pain in the neck, that's real. That's not just a figure of speech. Something can be a pain in your neck, and I've felt that pain in the neck. So we just want to release all of that. And the other thing people used to say was a pain in my butt. Have you ever dealt with sciatica? You can have a pain in the butt from that muscle. When it locks up, it affects a lot of other parts of your body. So we want to be able to let things go and to grieve effectively, grieve productively and properly, so that we can release those things from our physical body, those things that are connected to our emotions. Respect what your body is telling you. Your body is talking to you all the time. The thing is, sometimes we just don't want to listen to it because we want what we want. Example, sometimes food and emotional eating. Talk out your thoughts and feelings, find a support system, and remember, honor, and celebrate your loved one, and know that they would want you to live and be well. It's okay. Caring for yourself. Grief is hard work, so you do have to take care of yourself. Do things when the time is right. Eat a healthy diet with nourishing foods, exercise regularly, and get enough sleep. And those are things we should do anyway. And they're extremely important, especially when we're grieving, when that is starting to take a toll on us. We really, really have to be mindful of taking care of ourselves. We can adopt mindfulness practices like deep breathing and meditation. Breathing, that's a whole nother, I could talk a segment about breathing and how important that is and how healing it is in releasing things from our body and from our being just through breathing. And I heard someone say that breathing is not just air. Breathing is God. God breathed life into us. And the Bible says, let everything that have breath praise the Lord. Breath is such a gift from God to be able to inhale and exhale. And we need both. You can't live off just exhaling. You can't live off just inhaling. We need both. Inhale, exhale. And deep breaths fill our lungs, and we release a lot of toxins with those releases, those exhales. That's why waiting to exhale, because that's when you get to let all of the bad stuff out. Then we want to take in fresh air. So you might want to look into like breathing exercises, breathing practices that help you heal, that will energize you and detox you. That's a great practice. And one of these days, I think probably next week, I'm going to talk about yoga and how that has really helped me with my mind-body connection, with the breathing and with the awareness and with the divinity that dwells in me, in you, all of us. And we have to be able to connect with that. It is powerful. It is life-changing. Some of you already know this. Reinvesting in life, okay? Do things that bring you joy. Enjoy a hobby. Find something that you like to do. Spend quality time with people who bring you joy. Do something meaningful. Create a legacy. Treat yourself. Do something impactful. Set new personal goals. Those things have helped me personally. I know they've helped a lot of you. Try something new. Visit a place that you've never been. That's being adventurous. Join a travel group or something. Go see the world, or as much of it as you can. Forge new bonds by making new friends, or be more intentional about spending time with your current friends. Enjoy your people. Stay curious. Enroll in a class. Learn something new. Read a book. Study something. There's so much information out there where you can learn new things. If there's something you always wanted to know, you can go study it. Decide what the next phase of your life might look like and go for it. Set your goals accordingly. Seek help. Join a grief group. And if you join a grief group, go. I know that's hard. It might seem a little uncomfortable, but going to grief groups, supporting grief groups is so important, because when nobody comes, then the grief groups have to dismantle. They cannot exist without members, without people attending. So I know some people find them very, very helpful. And some people just find it difficult to be vulnerable and open up themselves, expose themselves to people, because it's very sensitive. But just know, if you go to a grief group, you can just go and observe. You don't necessarily have to talk if you don't feel like it. But if you do, sometimes it's just such a release, and it can be so, so helpful and help you in your healing process. So, the grief files. I compiled these writings. I wrote about a lot of grief during my time when I wrote for the Telegram, and I got a lot of feedback on these. And I compiled all of the writings that were related to death, dying, and grieving. I put them all together, and that's how I came up with the grief files. And that's how I got all of the writing to go in here. Okay, I'm just trying to. I know I try to be random, but this is kind of random. There was another one that I wanted to share, but maybe I'll share this one. I'm gonna find a shorter one. But I just hope that everybody's doing okay. We are here to live. We are here to live, and we are here to serve, and we are here to be a representation of who God is, what God is. We are to be loved. And I said that last time, be love, be love. Okay, you matter. Now, all of these are good. That's why it's kind of hard for me to pick one, because I would read them all to you, but you would have to get the book if you want to just have access to all of them. And the one I picked today is called You Matter. You matter. You are important. And I kind of mentioned that earlier, like, let people know they matter, and remember that you matter as well. Okay, you matter. Every time someone dies, I reflect. I hope I never get desensitized to loss. When I learned that I lost another classmate, I started thinking of her as a high school student and how kind she was and how hard she worked. Back then, none of us wondered if or when we would die, or if we would die young, or we were just getting started in life. So when you're in high school, you're not thinking about dying, you're living, as we should. Now, as I approach the age where death is becoming commonplace, and it's becoming common to lose classmates, I realize more that we are never ready, and none of us know our day. Anyway, now that she's gone, this classmate of mine, I was thinking, why did she come to live in a human body on earth for just 47 years anyway? And now that she's gone, what's left except the heartache of her absence? But then I thought, she left us with memories that remain as evidence that she existed. Then I thought about the years she worked and how her work continues to bless life in many ways that we may never know. Her life bore fruit, and even though she is gone, her fruit will keep producing more fruit, and this makes her essence live on. Just when you think your life is in vain, stop. Everything you do and have done matters. It will continue to matter. The earth is different because of your existence. No matter how long you dwell here, you've contributed on some level. The fact that your molecular DNA occupies space here, the world is different. You matter. So the loss of my classmate made me realize how grateful I am that her presence graced the earth, and I thank God for her and each and every one of you. I want you to know that your life means something. It means a lot. Also know that these words in your existence are profoundly meaningful to me. So you matter. So act like it, live like it, talk like it, walk like it, and be mindful in your daily work that is not in vain. I don't care what your profession is. I don't care what you do. There's a reason you're doing it, and there's a purpose for it, and it matters, and the world needs it. The world needs you. The world needs your essence, and your legacy is important. It is important. that I feel incomplete, like I should have read more, but that just means you have to come back next week to hear more. We're on 20 minutes, and my goal was always 15 minutes, but I have a tendency to go over. So I guess I've done what I needed to do here, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. I don't know if it's morning, afternoon, or evening. I don't know if it's the beginning, middle, or end of the week when you get this, but every moment is new. Every moment is a turning point. So it doesn't have to be the first day of the week. It can be at any moment. In any moment, you can decide to turn a page or turn things around. You can pivot and point your life in a new direction, in a better direction. If you're going through something, if you're not happy with the way things are in your life, you can study, you can research ways to change it. Whatever you're unhappy with about yourself, and you can heal yourself. You do have that power. You can heal yourself, and it begins with your thoughts. You can change the way you think about your situation and look for solutions. And I'm telling you, once you start doing that, things will fall into place, things will show up in your life that will take you in the direction that you're trying to go. There was a song when I was in the choir, 9 or 10 years old. If I take one step, he will do the rest. And I believe that you take that one step and he will do the rest. He will make sure you have resources. He is a provider. He can do exceeding abundantly above all that you could ask or think. So you don't have to have it all mapped out in your head. You can make a plan, of course, and envision it, and you may not know how it's all going to come together, but just know that it will. All you got to do is just get started with what you have. Just go, move forward, make the change, live the life that you want. And it's a process. It may not happen instantaneously. It may take days, it could take hours, it could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years for you to get to where you want to be. But just make sure that you're moving in that direction. And you have to believe, you have to know that all things are possible. Don't limit yourself. Don't shrink your dreams. Just believe in them, think on them, write things down, write your vision down, make it plain, write out a plan. Even if you don't know how you're going to carry it out, just start writing. Be careful who you share with. If there's a trusted person that you can share with, I'll let you decide on that because, or just tell yourself, say it out, speak it out, and think about your vision for your life, for your business, for your nonprofit, for the thing that you are trying to do, the thing that you want to use to help people, to make lives better, to make life more enjoyable for others, for yourself, to increase the quality of life for humanity with whatever it is. And you know what your vision is, you know what your dream is. That you already know. I'm just here to push you a little bit, to encourage you to go forward with it, to map out a plan, to meditate, take some quiet time in the morning, to stop and think about it and allow the ideas to come to you. Allow that vision to get more clear and listen for guidance and direction so that you can move in that way that's going to take you to the things that you're going for, because those ideas have come to you for a reason. You see that for a reason because everybody's not seeing it. That's a gift to you. And your gift to the world is to execute a plan, to do things that move you toward that vision, to make it come to pass. And I believe in you. I believe in you. And maybe that's why I'm even here today, is just to tell you it's okay. Go, do it. And people have done that for me, have encouraged me, have confirmed things for me to let me know I'm on the right path. I'm going in the right direction. So now I can keep going. And now I have to tell you that you can keep going, that you have to keep going, and that the resources and the ideas will come to you along the way. It's like Move My Cheese. If you read Move My Cheese, if you have it, get it. There's a video, I believe, on YouTube. Just type in Who Moved My Cheese. Yeah, Who Moved My Cheese. And that's just such a cute little story, but it's real and it can be applied to your life. So you have a great week. Go make something happen. Enjoy yourself. Be happy. Be well. Be loved. Get the pen. Get the pen.net. Have a good one.